Sunday Fun Day!
Woohoo! It's another edition of Power Hour Book Club. I mean, I guess we should have tried to do that to like Power Hour Book Club together, but I guess that's something we should have discussed.
Yeah, I can't improvise. That's why I'm not a stand-up comedian. I can't improvise. I just can't.
Well, actually, stand-up comedy is not like there's improvising and then there's stand-up comedy. Sometimes you improvise in stand-up comedy, but most stand-up comedy is already pre-written out.
No, I know that too, but when I get up there and I have to like improvise and people respond,
And, like crowd work.
Yeah, I freeze. I would just walk off stage, and then it would be the most interesting comedy show they've ever seen. Also the worst.
I mean, I've been to some pretty bad ones.
But let's talk about these margaritas.
So the other day, it was National Margarita Day.
Friday.
So I've concocted a lovely, spicy margarita with orange juice, silver tequila, orange liqueur, grapefruit soda, agave, lime juice, jalapenos. I think that's all that's in there.
A lot more orange than I expected it to be, but now it makes a lot of sense.
It balances it out. You can't even taste the alcohol. Kind of dangerous.
That's the best part.
Cheers!
What kind of tequila did you use in case we want a sponsor?
Silver tequila. I had 1,800.
Oh, 800.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it, because there was like good 3 cups that went into the pitcher I made.
Oh.
Yeah. Good times. So yeah.
And she also made the lovely chili
salt lime
salt on the rim.
Because I couldn't
scratch.
find any of it.
Because she's extra.
In the grocery store, so I was like, I have this stuff. I can just make it. And I will literally just lick the side of my glass.
Guys, get yourself an extra friend that you can be extra with, because life is so much better.
Who brings only one kind of guacamole to the party. And top-notch cocktails.
The best kind.
Alright, so, because we were poor in planning, we actually wanted to do this book for January, but neither of us had finished it in order to film for January.
Because we wanted to actually get notes and have feedback that's, you know, constructive and worth talking about.
Also, it was like my birthday month, and then like, and shit, it's the new year, and you know, got a little crazy as far as schedules go, and like doing things.
Life.
You know, but yeah, we're really excited about this book. So, I don't know if any of you have ever heard it or listened to it, but I discovered last year, a podcast called Guys, We Fucked.
The Anti-Slut-Shaming
Podcast by the lovely Corinne Fisher and Krystyna Hutchinson.
Shout out, you girls rock.
Like,
love you.
Y'all are my favorite people.
Amazing.
Honestly. You and like a lot, I mean like a bunch of other people, but like in different genres of entertainment and life advice and whatnot. So they wrote a book. Now I discovered this podcast last year, but it's been going on since like 2014, and I happened to like binge all of the episodes that clearly I had missed out on.
Currently I'm still binging. I'm catching up, I promise.
Now I am fully caught up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good times, and I like keep track of everything. It's kind of weird. So, in that time, they wrote a book called Fucked. I can't read backwards. Being sexually explorative and self-confident in a world that's screwed. Basically, a book on relationships and sex, and like a bit of a self-help book. There's a lot of great knowledge and wisdom behind this book. This is the hardcover, and this is the paperback. The paperback just got released like a couple weeks ago.
These are my notes.
And has a new bonus chapter on their breakups. Because when they wrote the book, they were in relationships. And then they released it, and then their relationships crumbled.
I read the older book, so I'm really actually interested to hear about the differences. If there are
it's just they have the one bonus chapter on like, and their like takes on their breakup.
Okay, I want to know about that though, because I don't even know anything about it.
So, well, because you didn't get to the big breakup episode.
Well,
on the podcast, which I will say, I myself was going through a breakup during this time.
by the time you watched it or listened to
Listen to it, yeah.
it? Mm.
And, like, oh, God. I fucking cried my eyes out. So, yeah, I feel for them. But it's also because, like, I listen to them so much that I feel like I know them and that they're my friends, even though they're not. But I'd like to be ladies, okay? I really would.
But you're besties.
Me or besties.
No, it's true.
Also,
It's
wait.
so true.
So Corinne, this one, she was just on a Kesha cruise with her BFF, Tommy, and what's the other one's name? Grant, that's the other one. And I was like watching all the shit on her stories.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that's my girl. Her and I go on cruises, specifically tailored to certain artists, because I've been on Backstreet Boys cruises.
I've never been on a cruise. I want to go on one, so
I offered the Golden
if
Girls.
anyone wants to send me a cruise,
I offered the Golden Girls cruise. You told me you had never seen Golden Girls.
I know. Sorry. I was just a nerd growing up. I watched Star Trek with my dad.
Alright, well, we need to watch like 3 episodes of Golden Girls, and I think you'll understand the importance of it.
No, I do understand the importance, not fully because I haven't seen it, but I know how important it is to our culture.
Okay.
Of women.
I'm like half a margarita in, and I'm like, I barely had anything to drink. I mean, to eat.
You should work on that cheese before I start eating it.
Fine.
Should we start with my first highlight? Or what's your first highlight? Mine's on
My
page
first
4.
highlight. Right, so I mark up this book.
Mine's page 4.
I marked up this whole book.
Can we talk about how my hair is just not doing what
I didn't mark up anything until probably like the religion part, because I kind of already knew all this stuff.
So you. Oh,
So-
so I'm 4 is first.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started.
I wonder if our pages correlate. Oh, yeah, they kind of do. Yeah, I know where you are. This is
Okay,
interesting.
so this is kind of going into what we just talked about. So, basically the quote is, from its inception at a dining room table at 151 Kent Ave in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, the goal of Sorry About Last Night had always been to create comedy with a purpose, and this idea seemed to capture that notion quite succinctly. So, the cool thing that you guys can't see is that there is a text from Corinne
I'll show them a picture.
to Krystyna saying, do you want to do a podcast where we interview all the guys we've ever fucked and call it Guys We Fucked? And she says yes. So
That's some shit we would do.
right, that's why I
Which
highlighted
basically,
it.
wait, this is how this video series came about. I said, oh, I need a power hour of mimosas. And
Oh
you
yeah, and I was
said,
like, we should do a book club
and then you said we should do a book club and combine them. And I was like,
and drink.
fuck yeah. And that's how it started. And then we made our first video, and then I threw up so horribly that
I
night.
had a nap, and then I felt fine. So I'm just gonna say that much.
Good times. Now
But that's exactly why I highlighted it, because I was like, this is how this was conceived. You had
Yeah.
an idea, then I and Andy were like, we're doing it. And we didn't even care if anyone watched it. We just wanted to do it. We're like, why don't we just record it?
because when we're
Let's see
old
what
and
happens.
I don't have kids to show this to, I'm just gonna show it to random strangers on the street because I don't want to have any children. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I got a little deep right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's
It's
fair.
okay. It's okay. Corinne doesn't want to have any kids either. It's great.
That is great. I respect a woman's decision to not have children, because not everyone wants kids. Not everyone wants that. So
I just know that she hates that people relate to her. But I do relate to Corinne on multiple levels.
I actually was gonna talk about that later, but we can go into that a little bit now. I feel like they're both so relatable, and that's why you feel like you're friends with them, because like they're so open and honest,
They put
and
all their shit out there.
yeah, and you also relate to some experiences that they've had, not the same ones, but you're like, oh yeah, that was like this time when I blah 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 blah, which we'll get into as we go along.
Yes.
But I just wanted to point out that highlight because I was like really excited when I read it. I was like, that sounds like what we did. Go on. So how do I get back to my highlight?
She figures out how to work her phone.
Oh yeah.
At the next page, page 5. You're gonna be doing a lot of the first ones because mine doesn't start until page 37.
These are literally just quotes, so we can literally read them and not talk about them until we get to the rest of them. So I mean, the whole big part of what Krystyna and Corinne do is about shame. So this quote was really great where it said, all those emails were connected by one overbearing common thread, shame. Because they were getting emails from all these people that just all of a sudden started listening, which they weren't expecting, which is kind of cool. And they had no idea, like, how much shame was responsible for so much of our perspective in life.
About sex and relationships in general.
Everything, really. Like, family commitments.
I mean, but if you think about it, a lot of, people go through shame. Like, they feel shame for things I felt shame for things, like, from my past that, like, looking back, and I'm like, well, why did I feel that way? Why did it matter to feel that way to me?
Society! That's pretty much what I took away.
Or your family's perception, because they just suck. I don't know.
And that's perfect. For the next step, you just did the whisper thing.
I did the whisper thing.
You said we weren't gonna do that.
It's fine, because if my mother ever finds this video, she'll know that, she made me feel a lot of shame for her Catholic guilt that she put on me throughout the years.
Catholic guilt, it's a thing.
Fuck that.
Well,
anyway.
And they call it a self-help book. So self-help is not selfish. In fact, we believe it's the most selfless thing you can do. 100% agree.
Self-care.
Yes.
Is more than just putting on a fucking face mask.
Yes.
And drinking wine. You gotta look within yourself, figure out your flaws. I don't know why I keep pointing to myself. I'm flawless. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. But you really, you have to work on yourself.
Yes.
All the time. Mm-hmm. Everyone's a work in progress. And as much as I'd like to think I'm perfect all the time.
And there are times when you stop working on yourself. There are times when that stops happening, but it doesn't mean you can't do it again. You know what I mean?
And there's times when all that hard work goes undone. Like when you enter a relationship that wastes your fucking time.
Yes. We'll get into that. Oh, we'll get into that. Yeah, like a marriage. Like getting married to someone you plan to have kids with, and then realize he made you give up one.
I can't convince anyone to get to that point in life with me, but
okay.
Whatever.
Either
it's
way.
Fine. I look like I have like a weird mullet. Sometimes I don't like this haircut. All right.
If you like unfluff.
I know, but then like it's in my face.
Well,
I overslept in my hair.
We're gonna go to the next highlight because I've got a couple.
Yes.
Continue. I don't need that one. Oh, let's get that one. Oh, here's a good one. I've become my therapist over the years through writing. I've written my way out of heartbreak, out of loss, out of disappointment. That speaks to me because I do it through music.
That was Corinne that wrote that, right? Yeah, I think that was Corinne. What page
was that?
It
says Corinne on it.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, Corinne wrote that, and I 100% like I've written lyrics. And you know what's funny? Like some of my best writing was when I was depressed. Like, do you guys ever have that, like, in middle school when I started writing, I had these, like, really depressing poems about, like, cutting yourself and dying. They were more, elaborative and more
I had that shit in, like, high school.
Yeah.
I took a creative writing class, and it was all just...
Yeah. But writing can save your life. Maybe.
It can.
Sometimes. It depends. It depends on who you are. But either way, I just thought that was interesting.
Well, a lot of comedians are like that. That's what, like, I mean, you think about, like, all the stand-up comedians. Like, there was one recently that... decided to take his own life. Literally just yesterday, and they were all.
Who? Sorry, guys.
He's
I'm the last person that's up to date on shit like this.
It's a research break. As
I'm not on Facebook anymore. I'm just.
It's not. What was it? Is it on Twitter?
Not on Twitter,
it's on Instagram. So let me find.
Oh, is it Instagram?
It's on Instagram.
Do we follow them? Yes.
We don't follow that specific one, but I follow so many comedians that it popped up a dozen times.
Right. But while she's looking there, PH Book Club 14 on Instagram, we sometimes post pictures of what we're doing, which we should probably do. We should probably do that now.
Okay, that doesn't mention his name. That's not helpful. That's just his face.
We didn't take our picture either. We should take our picture.
Oh, we forgot to do that.
It's okay.
We'll do it. So disorganized.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end.
Corinne put something on. I don't know if it was on Instagram. No, it wasn't. It was on Twitter.
Hold on 1 second.
on Corinne's other podcast that mainly started about Justin Bieber, but has gone on to celebrity and conspiracy theories, which great work, Corinne and Rosebud. They do. It's a research break, and they like have like this little song or whatever, because sometimes they have to look up stuff while they're recording their podcast.
That's actually pretty hilarious.
Yes. But Corinne is a faster researcher than I am. That's what I've learned.
Well, I find so many sites and social media, like, apps are so hard to find things on because you have to scroll so fucking long before you find something. They don't give you the search option.
His name is Brody Stevens. He literally did a night at, he's like some, like kind of underground. He's kind of like same status as like, I would say Corinne and Krystyna, where like they're famous to some people but not to others, and like he was a big name in comedy, and he had a part in, I believe, The Hangover.
What does he look like?
That's what he looked like. Oh. And he did a night at, I think it was the Comedy Store, like the other night, and then they found him the next day. So fucking sad. Oh. Anyway, yeah.
Well, going with that,
shit's depressing.
It actually
get help.
Yes, well, yes, exactly. Get the help you need. It's not anything to be ashamed of. If you have depression, anxiety, you're paranoid, it's never anything to be ashamed of, ever. It is something that is chemicals in your brain. It's not you, okay? You don't have to be ashamed of it. So many people are affected by all kinds of mental illness. And that goes into the next quote by Corinne as well.
What a great segue. Oh, Colleen.
As a result, too many people spend their lives trying to become the person they think the world is telling them to be rather than the person they really are. Losing the need for approval from others is liberating. Best of all, it provides the freedom to take the very risks that bring life's greatest rewards. Fucking men, and I wish I learned this in high school. Actually, no, I sort of learned it in high school, but I really learned it after college. After my, my life.
Oh, I learned it in high school because of certain people in high school.
Tell me more.
It's like too personal, like.
Oh, okay. Oh, for this, especially
for this, I'll tell you like off camera. Later. Yeah. Later.
But I just love that quote because so many people care so much about what other people think.
Oh God, and it's like
it just fathoms me.
As someone who has not given a shit about what other people think since about the age of 13.
And can we pause for a second? I respect this woman so much for that. She's helped me take that even further in my life. So I just have to say, like, I love you for that because you are one of the only people that I know that actually truly believes this.
Yeah,
and lives it. And you're like, I have fucking standards, but I'm not gonna fucking do shit because you want me to do it. I'm gonna do it because I want to do it.
Thank you. I didn't mean this to be like a praise about me.
No, but like, that's what I was saying. Like, that's why we're friends, because I was like, she brings out the truth and the honesty and just like the passion for like life in your own terms. And I think that's so fucking bomb. Like, that's so great.
Thanks.
Sorry.
I lost my train of thought because I was too busy paying attention to your wonderful words of adoration. So what's the name? You need a tissue? I have tissue. I think it's on that.
Okay, you continue with your 13-year-old self.
Yeah, no, I just haven't given a shit about what other people think of me since I was like 13. I've always done what I want, said what I want, wore what I want, cut my hair how I want, did my makeup in weird ways. Like, I didn't give a shit. I mean, I wouldn't say looking back I would, like, regret anything that I wore, like, in pictures. Hasn't gotten to that.
I do. I look at pictures and I'm like, what's my mom thinking?
But it's more like just, like, trends of, like, oh my god, why did I think my eyebrows looked cute when they were that thin? Kind of thing.
I'm gonna have those pictures, too.
but everyone has those pictures, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't care.
In high school, everyone thought I was Asian because I did the thin eyebrows. And I think my face was just younger and not as blown up. But, like, it was weird. Everyone thought I was Asian. They thought I was part Asian, like, legitimately. Even my friends, they were like, wait, you're not Asian? I was like, no.
I had a girl call me fat once, and I said, that's the most clever thing you can say. And I walked away.
Awesome.
I was like, really? That's all you can fucking come up with?
People thought I was a dyke for a long time in middle school. They thought I was a lesbian. They thought I liked girls. And at the time, of course, that wasn't as like a big out thing for most people because one of my guy friends.
Yeah, that was still kind of like
struggling with coming out, and I really wish that people like nowadays or back then were like the ones nowadays where like kids are not ashamed anymore as much. I mean, there's still a lot of people who struggle internally.
Midwest and South, anyway.
Well, I'm not gonna assume that, but I'm just saying that there's so much more tolerance for that when you're younger now. And so when I was in middle school, there wasn't really that tolerance. It was more of like, there's something wrong with you. You're a lesbian. You like girls. You can't come to our slumber party. And that's why I had no friends
bullshit.
In 7th and 8th grade. And I dressed goth. I had the big frumpy black sweatshirts. I wore my hair parted down the middle, like greasy, like style. I wore black lipstick and like all that
much
fun
like
stuff.
Today, but better.
I have my own style now.
No, I meant like just today. Earlier she was like, do I look goth in this?
It was because of light. It was the light's fault. And I have this lovely Fenty by Rihanna lipstick that's really nice.
Fenty, sponsor us. We love Rihanna.
Rihanna. No, it's called Fog Snog, and it's this lovely silver.
Fog Snog. You know, snog is like
kissing. British. Yeah.
Did you ever read the series, Angus
Thongs and Full Frontal Snog? They made a show on Netflix. There's a movie on Netflix.
Oh, I was supposed to watch that and I completely forgot about it.
I have it on my list.
Alright. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on to the next quote.
This is the best
We got a lot of stuff. A lot of this is like a lot of personal stuff that they've like reflected on and are teaching people, and it goes more into like subjects about like religion and all that stuff, but we haven't gotten to that part yet.
So, right now, Krystyna, now we're going to Krystyna. So true. I always got agonizingly uncomfortable whenever the subject of sex was brought up in front of my parents. To this day, if I'm watching a movie with them and a sex scene comes on, panic sets in and I'm like, oh, gotta pee, drinking so much water today, haha, okay, bye. And I get the hell out of that room. So, I relate to this. It's not, with my mom it's fine, my dad, never. Like Game of Thrones, I started watching with my parents at one point.
Oh,
like,
that's uncomfortable.
Yeah. And this is before I realized there was so much sex involved. And so then we're watching it, and I'm like, well, this is really awkward. This girl's getting shot with a crossbow. She's naked on this bed. Spoiler alert.
Oh, like, the nudity never bothered me with, like, watching movies, like, growing up.
But, like, you relate that to, like, a sexual thing, though. Cause
kind of,
she's
but not...
She's a whore. Like, she's a paid prostitute.
Yeah, like, kind of, but not really in my experience. It was more like once I actually started going at it, where I would get uncomfortable.
It's always uncomfortable. But my dad would never watch anything like The Notebook or like...
Well, that's like sappy stuff anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really talked to my parents, so I wouldn't know if I'm comfortable with watching sex scenes in front of them. Sometimes I kind of get weirded out, like, in myself, like, watching sex scenes with, like, my sister.
Yeah, I don't have a sister, but I could see that. Oh, yeah, my brother, too. Brother. Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched anything... like that with him.
I mean, I know. Okay, so
when, I would be.
So when 8 Mile came out, I asked my sister to take me because I was like, I mean, like I'm still kind of a Eminem fan, but like at the time, he was the shit, right? So
he's great.
He is great. He's still great. I fucking love him. Eminem, sponsor us. I'm kidding. That's not how that works.
Wow.
But M&M's, the candy, we love you. Sponsor us, Mars. And
we're huge fans.
We're huge fans.
Really.
Of Candy and the Man. Is that the product of M&M?
No, like Cookie Billy.
Baby. Oh, okay.
Cookie Billy.
So we went to go see 8 Mile, and then him and Brittany Murphy had the scene where they like have sex in the warehouse that he's working at.
Brittany Murphy's in that movie? I thought she was dead by the time it came out.
Bitch! No?
Guys, I have a shitty memory. I'm just gonna say it right now. She's gonna say this shit to me a lot.
Yeah. And and my sister like tried like covering my eyes, and I was like, I already know about sex now. Like,
wait, how old were you?
Fine.
How old was that when it came out?
I was like,
how old were we when that came out?
11, 12. Yeah.
Huh.
I already knew about sex then, I guess.
I think it's because like my mom is more of a friend to me than a mom growing up, and in some ways that was
yeah.
really
I did not
unhealthy.
have that.
But in a lot of ways, it was really nice because, like, we're friends now. We're great friends. We still have our issues. We're not perfect. We still have fights and we still have misunderstandings. And she's got her flaws. I got my flaws, and we come clash sometimes. I love you, Mom. You're probably watching this because you follow everything I do, and I love you for that because you're so supportive. Aw. But
Sorry, I had a burp.
after that lovely moment with my mother. No, I just think that like I've never really been uncomfortable watching like stuff with her that like gets sexually involved. I don't know. It's weird. Like I just feel comfortable enough to watch it with her, and I'm really grateful for that. But like with my dad, it's kind of weird. Justin would be really weird too, but we don't watch a lot of weird stuff like that at all. We watch Marvel movies and Star Trek and Star Wars and nerd shit. Nerds
Yeah.
forever.
By the way, did you hear? Oh wait, you're not on Facebook.
No.
Urban Decay is coming out with a Game of Thrones line.
Oh god, it killed me.
I've actually known about it for several months, but I couldn't say anything because I have a friend who works in the cosmetic industry.
Who the fuck works in the cosmetic industry? Anyway, so
if she's
we're getting
watching,
off
she
topic.
knows. Anyway,
But
off
anyway,
topic again.
That was just kind of interesting, the whole parents thing.
Yes.
I'm a narcissist dream girl. Ding ding ding. I always find men who are narcissists, and they don't show it. They don't show it until later, I guess, because narcissists are really good at hiding that shit at first. You know what I mean? Have you ever been with one?
Yes.
Yeah, so like they're really good at like pretending they really care about you, but as long as it suits them, and then when it doesn't fit their
Yeah, and
needs,
then I just call them out on their bullshit, and then they ghost me. So.
I was married to one.
Hmm.
He was actually the most textbook narcissist like there ever was in my life, and that's what I realized like when I was talking to my therapist and he was talking about it. I was like, huh, I thought he was a narcissist. I was right. Unfortunately, that resulted in, my depression and downswing and doing drugs and lots of stupid shit. Just for like, a year, half a year maybe.
It wasn't that long. I wasn't that concerned about you.
Oh,
There was a point where I was like,
should stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I literally had that conversation with you. It's like, I don't think this is healthy.
No.
And
but then I loved her more for it because she respected my need to cope unhealthily first.
And she would ask me to do stuff where I knew it was going to happen. I was like, I am not going to be a part of that.
Wait, what?
There were some nights where like, do you want to come here? And it was like really late. And I was like, no, that's not happening.
Okay, bad memory.
I would go, you can tell me about it tomorrow morning. I support some of your decisions, maybe not all of them.
Yep.
That's what friends are for.
Yep. Yeah. But no, narcissists. They will get you. Especially if you're an empath like me. And you, like, are drawn to helping people and wanting to be for the people, but then you get stepped on. That was me for a long time. Until I realized I'm better than that.
You are.
So much better than that.
You were.
Oh, now we're getting to the sex stuff. Page 16. Is that where you are?
I don't have anything marked until 37.
Oh, wait, really? 37?
But I will follow along with you.
So, Krystyna also mentioned something about starting at the age of 6 or 7, I was humping anything and everything in my house.
Me too.
I was too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, I would get towels. I'd bring towels to my bed and,
my
like,
sheets.
just, like, fucking pretend I was on the magic carpet from
Stuffed
Aladdin.
animals. Anything.
My sexual fantasy started really young. And
Yeah.
I think my first was Aladdin. Not gonna lie.
No nipple Aladdin. That'll do it for you.
That's weird. Why is that?
I don't know.
I don't even, okay, is it just me? Or, like, I don't even notice a guy's nipples half the time. Like, I'm either sucking on them or playing with them, but I'm not looking at them.
I don't know. I pay attention to nipples.
Really? Is it like,
yeah.
Is it like a thing? Like, because some people are like, I don't like
mainly because I
nipples.
don't know that I like my own nipples. Like, I have really big areolas.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not, like,
what's considered
comfortable.
Big? Like, I don't know.
I got, like,
we should email them and be like, what's
I
considered
have, like,
a big
giant
areola?
areolas and, like,
What's
tiny
the diameter?
nipples.
We should get, like, a ruler and just go, like...
Like, I feel like the areolas are compatible to the size of my breast, but the nipples themselves are not.
Interesting. I never really like.
So I always look at like other people's nipples, like in
in porn.
like in porn, like on TV, in real life.
They call them like pepperoni nipples or whatever because they're like really like. So okay, here I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go like this.
Yeah, it's like your areola.
Yeah, but like how big is it? So I start here.
It's like.
Is it like this?
You want me? I'll show you off camera. Look, I'll show you.
Oh, okay. Dinner and a show. Hello.
Like my areola is fucking big.
But your boobs are really big.
Yeah, but I feel like my areola is just super fucking
really
big.
light areolas. Oh, because you're white. Like you're full
like
white.
My nipples like so tiny.
You're small.
And that's friendship.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really show you easily in the shirt, but like.
Oh, God, it's hot in here.
Mine are a little darker than that. Oh, maybe they're not. No, I'll show you later.
I've seen them. Have you? Yeah. We change in front of each other like, all the time.
I'm never looking though.
Not like
again, shame. I don't look at people when they're changing in front of me because of shame.
Oh, I look at people all the time. At the gym, I was in drama club, so like clearly we were looking.
Yeah, I did shows growing up, but like I guess as I got older, things were more shameful. Anyway,
I never shamed anyone for what they had or what they didn't have.
But I like to hear that because I've never heard anyone say something like this in a book where they're like, I was humping things when I was 6 or 7. I'm like, thank fuck Jesus, because I always felt like I had some weird shit going on in my brain. I thought I was like a bad influence on my friends.
Oh, no.
I was telling my girlfriends how I did it, and they were like, what is that?
I literally I just thought I was like really precocious for like with my own sexuality for like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, my brother used to
Not that I knew the word precocious then, but I was like, I feel like I'm ahead of my time. And I was.
Well, my mother would have guy friends over, and I'd be like...
They're always jerking each other off, right?
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
Some.
No.
Some guys do.
Okay, well, not my brother.
Now that he has told you.
Yeah, he's totally straight. Like, totally
That
straight.
doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, I guess guys get... I don't really want to know that, though. I don't really want to talk about that.
I mean, not that you need to know.
But my point is, like, everyone has their own, like, sexual awakening, and, like, my sexual awakening wasn't that age, but my sexual, like, observation. So when my brother's friends would come over, I'd be like... Hey,
and, like, sometimes, and, like, urges and stuff, too. Like, that you didn't really, like, you couldn't process.
I guess there would have been urges. I don't have those. I don't remember having those.
Like, it's totally normal to, like, as little kids, to, like... Explore.
As long as you're not touching anybody else that's unwarranted. Actually, as a kid, you shouldn't be touching anybody else anyway.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's, like, it's a consent thing, kind of thing, you know? Like...
Yeah, but obviously if an adult consents to a child, it doesn't make that
okay.
No.
I'm not talking, no, I'm talking, like, with
children
children, not adults touching children. That is wrong.
Well, children shouldn't touch adults either, because even if they don't know
no, because that's, yeah.
That's statutory.
Just children with children, okay? Children with children. If you walk in on your kid, like, when they're young.
Playing doctor, because I played doctor, like,
it's
a bunch of
normal.
times.
It's normal.
I showed my boobs to a lot of guys.
Your little flat chest itself at 6.
Actually, no, I had boobs in middle school.
When I had boobs when you were 6?
Oh,
I had boobs in elementary
school too.
I had boobs in elementary school.
No, I did that too. But I'm saying like in middle school, I also did that, and I showed my chest to boys.
I showed my boobs to everyone. That's fine.
I don't really care.
Still don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put them on the internet, but you know, whatever.
A couple of guys were like, we'll let you into our club if we see your boobs. And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, because
I joined the club.
We're stupid back then. Now we know better.
But it wasn't for acceptance. It was just like, I really want to be in this club. And like, and the way they wanted,
and like you didn't think, and you didn't think about it. You're just like, oh no.
And the cost to get in didn't matter. Like, I wasn't shamed about my body or my boobs until 7th or 8th grade, and then I was like, I don't have that perfect body that Jonathan Taylor Thomas is looking for.
JTT. Hey,
or
boy.
Or Devin Sawa.
I was a Leo fan.
Oh, Leo DiCaprio, of course. Yeah. Everyone was. Everyone still is.
Romeo and Juliet with Claire Danes.
Titanic? Hello. I think that was my sexual awakening was Pacey Witter on Dawson's Creek. That was my sexual awakening. Oh my god.
Zach Morris was a big one for me.
How old were you?
pretty fucking.
I don't know what just happened.
I mean, Saved by the Bell had like fucking
Are we still recording?
had reruns like all the time.
I didn't watch those. What did I watch?
What did you watch? You didn't watch Golden Girls. You didn't watch Saved by the Bell. Did you watch Family Matters?
I watched Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. I watched.
Oh, I
My
clearly
Little
did not
Pony.
do any fucking cartoons. I didn't do cartoons when I was little.
But we had Saturday morning cartoons, like the typical.
Yeah, no, I watched Saved by the Bell on Saturday morning.
Yeah, we were all about cartoons and comics in my family.
Well,
so-
maybe it was because my sister's 10 years older, so like she was kind of over the cartoon thing. Like
yeah.
she wouldn't watch cartoons.
I guess that makes sense. My brother was only 3 years older, so
I didn't watch like cartoon TV shows, except for like maybe Animaniacs, but that was it.
I loved Animaniacs.
Me too. But that was probably it.
Tiny Toon Adventures. Love that show.
I watched the Muppets a lot growing up. I mean, but I still watch the Muppets.
Okay, so I never really watched them.
Anyway, we're getting way the fuck off topic. This was about humping things when you were little,
Anyway,
which we both, confess to. Moving on.
I was like when she said "Hump City, bitch." Second, she was alone.
Me too.
I don't know why. Oh, here we go. And she also, and similar to Corinne, she says, the only person's opinion you should ever be concerned with is your own. Once you truly understand that and live by it, the world is your oyster. Yes. This just goes back to what we were just saying. So, just read. So, page 19. Oh, here we go. In a society where for some reason, it has become chic to be the victim, we say this pity party ends now. I hate victimization. That's something that pisses me off. And like, even as a person who's been involved and been a survivor of sexual assault, I don't like to call myself a victim. I don't like to wear it on my sleeve like this badge of,
Oh,
pity. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe in it. I think I'm stronger because of the experiences I've had. Do you know what I mean?
yes.
Like, and for anybody who feels like a victim, you are stronger than that. It doesn't define you. It does shape you, though. It shapes the perspective. It shapes how you, progress in your life in certain ways. But I personally think that, yes, it sucks that it happened, and I've come to terms with it at this point, but I'm a survivor.
I
And
think
that's how I
that a
feel.
lot of people who put themselves as victims are craving some sort of attention
Well, and no, I don't think it's that. I think it's
in their lives.
that too.
The people who always play the victim card.
Oh yeah, the victim card.
You know
is
what
a
I mean?
thing.
Like they just always need attention.
It's never their fault for anything.
I mean, there's some things that like, you can't help and that you do become a victim of. Don't get me wrong, you do.
Oh,
there are
I'm just saying
people
change it
who-
to survivor, not victim.
I'm just saying a victim of any, like a car being stolen or
Okay.
you know what I
Sure.
mean? Or like just a circumstantial victim or a societal victim. As far as like, say, for instance, like as a millennial, we are societal victims where the economy, because of decisions by the people who were supposed to make a world a better
Yeah.
place for us. You know what I mean?
I guess I still
And
consider
who
that
continue to
survival,
blame
though.
us for killing industries that we can't afford to fucking pay for.
Oh yeah,
you
we
know.
killed Applebee's, by the way.
Well, Applebee's is kind of shitty.
If I'm gonna pay
I
for
do like their 2 for $20 deal.
Oh, I hate Applebee's. Sorry, Applebee's.
It was kind of gross though. Like their food wasn't really like good.
Same with Olive Garden.
Right, wait, no, I can't. I support Olive Garden.
Oh well, the ones I've been to have been terrible.
Free breadsticks and salad.
Breadsticks are the only reason I go to Olive Garden. But anyway, we're getting off topic again. I don't know, I think overall, I just feel like even as like a victim of the millennial society, I consider myself a survivor of it because I'm living it and I'm working at it and I'm trying to.
Well, unfortunately, we're still going through it. So have we
Well-
really survived yet?
We're surviving.
It's like a Hunger
It's like
Games.
the
It's a
zombie
Hunger Games
apocalypse.
thing where it keeps like we keep going through the levels, but we can still end up dying.
Well, we're not the victor yet, but we're surviving.
I'm barely getting by.
Okay, well, you make more than me, so if you're barely getting by, I'm still at poverty level. I actually looked it up. I am at the poverty level.
Someone sponsor us. We need money. Anyway. Well, none of these, like, I can't, like, you highlighted these for a certain reason. Like, I didn't highlight those.
What did I say last?
You said...
Oh, I don't know. I have this for myself. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this quote. If you're being shamed about something, don't keep it to yourself. Secrecy feeds shame. When released into the open air, shame loses its power. Own your feelings, thoughts, opinions, viewpoints, and self-worth. To feel shame, you must relinquish ownership of those things. I like that.
Yes.
I like that a lot. And it's true. Secrecy, like, people who will hide things from you or, like, think that it's okay to lie to you because it's not going to hurt you in the long run, they can't know how you're going to react. That's not their responsibility. Their responsibility is to be honest and know their truth and their reality, and the way you react is not on them. You know what I mean? Like, that's why when I'm honest with someone, I'll say, like, this is not my intention to insult you or blah, 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 blah. But then I'll, like, say it, and I'll say, I understand if this is disconcerting or uncomfortable, but I'm not trying to, like, you know, be a dick just to be a dick. I'm just, being honest because I feel like maybe you could use some, like, you were honest with me when you were like, I'm not going to be a part of that, but you let me know how it goes in the morning.
Apparently my delivery is what needs to get worked on.
You can be brusque. Is that the word? That's the word? Brusque? Like,
that's a word.
Blunt? Brusque? Blunt? It's like similar to blunt, but it's like brusque is like, eh.
My stomach is making weird sounds.
You've eaten all your cheese.
I've had cheese.
Maybe it's because we want more margaritas.
I know, we do need to refill.
So we should stop.
We're going to stop right now.
Yeah, we'll stop for a second. But I really want to touch
base. Finish your thoughts.
Okay. But my point is, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that it's better to have quality over quantity in your friendships and honesty over not dishonesty. You know, like, I hate people that are going to sugarcoat something for me and try to make me feel better rather than just be honest with me. So, I mean, there's a way, again, to be honest without being a dick. You know, like, there's a balance that not a lot of people have, but you actually have that balance with me. Like, you'll just say it like it is, and I don't take it offensively, but you don't go ahead and judge me. That's the difference.
True.
When you're being honest about somebody or telling something to somebody, it's different than judgment, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Unless you are judging them, then, you're judging them for your reasons. I don't personally believe I'm the judge and jury and executioner of somebody, but my point is that honesty in the right circumstances, in most circumstances, in my opinion, is much better. Like, I'd rather someone be honest and I hurt a little bit than they lie to me for years and years and then come out and say something. I'm like, what? Why the fuck didn't you tell me that 5 years ago? You know, like, that makes me distrust you.
True.
From now on. Like, you have to earn that trust back. Not going to say any names, but there are people in my life recently that have been doing that, and I'm like, well, hey, thanks, and they're like, well, I didn't think that you would listen, or I didn't think you would take it to heart, or you would understand, or you'd get upset. I'm like, if I get upset, that's not your fault. That's me, my own personal demons that are coming up, and I'm like realizing, oh, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea.
It's a good call.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What do you like honesty?
I don't know that a lot of people are honest with me. I know I'm honest with a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know that, there's, like, some people who are honest with me, but I don't think, I mean, then again, I don't know, because it's like, I don't really I was never one of those people that always had, like, a lot of fucking friends growing up. I always had, like, 3 or 4 good ones, you know? But then, like, even those, like, over the years have disappeared. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna be the one to, like,
but that's their own insecurities, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of that, sometimes.
So...
I don't know every situation, but I don't know.
Like, to this day, like, sometimes I don't know, like, why why certain friendships ended. You know what I mean? Or, like, why they don't, like, reach out or call me or whatever. It's because I don't know, like, why should I bother to reach out to them?
Right.
And like, when I have reached out.
And they don't reach out. Like, it's a two-way
street. And, like, it doesn't, like, and it's not, like, what's the word? Reciprocated. Oh, yeah. You know? Like, I'm like, okay, well, like to know what I did wrong. If you could tell me.
Right. Yeah.
Like, just tell me what I did wrong.
That's
maybe I didn't do anything wrong, but, like...
Ghosting is the worst thing that's happened to our generation. I fucking hate it. Because it's, like, that's the problem, is that they could just be honest with you and be like, you're not really my type, or, like, I don't really see us being friends for a long time, like, you're cool, but I don't like to do the same things you do, or whatever. I'd rather have that than someone just disappear from my life. Like, that's unfulfilling, like, for your closure, and you question yourself, you question the person, you question all your relationships, and it just fucking blows up in your face. Sorry, I'm getting a little dramatic.
No, it's fine.
No.
It's not fun getting ghosted by friends or by potential lovers or whatever. Yeah.
And, like, when I was going through all that stuff, too, like, I wasn't around it often, and I would tell you, be like, look, I'm anxious, I don't want to go somewhere, or I'd be like, I don't really feel like doing anything.
As long as you tell me, I'm cool with it.
Because, like, I knew she wouldn't fucking judge me for it, but, like, I preferred to be honest with her and be like, look, it's not you, it's just that I cannot leave my fucking bed right now, and she'll say the same thing, like, I don't really want to do that. I'm like, okay, cool.
Like, the other night?
Skating. Yeah. Want to go ice skating?
And I was like, I did that once this year, I hit my limit. Thanks.
I didn't take it personally.
Well, good thing we didn't go, because it's fucking raining.
It's true. It was a sign. Yeah, and then same with the movie. Like, you didn't have any interest in seeing that movie, and I was like, you know, I don't take it personally. I was like, everyone takes things so fucking personally. Anyway.
But a lot of things aren't even about you.
Yes. The ego. It's a problem.
It's a big fucking problem.
I mean, I've had my moments. I know that I've had moments where I think something's about me, and I'm like, hold the phone.
Yeah.
I am projecting onto this person that it's not about me. This is their situation they're going through, and the fact that I'm making it about me, I need to figure out why I think that's the thing.
Yep.
And that takes a lot of time to learn. Like, that takes time and energy and a lot of, like, denial that you have to get over.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks looking at yourself like an ugly human being sometimes. I've been one.
Yep. Been there. Done that. We'll probably do it again.
Case in point.
That's my motto.
And it's a great place to stop while we get margaritas. Because I'm thirsty.
Yeah, I'm thirsty too, all this talking.
Yeah, we'll be back. Give us a few minutes. Oh, well, it won't be a few minutes to you.
No, it won't be, because we'll be editing this.
Pause. We are back.
Well, but you never really left, now did we?
Forgetting that. Our margaritas magically refilled.
Oh, you filled You filled yours more than I did. Is that a hair? That's my hair. That's okay. I'd eat my hair.
I mean, I figured we were gonna not go back for a while again, so I filled it more.
I mean, good call. Good call. I probably should have done that. That's okay. Book covers are annoying. This is why I like paperbacks better.
Kindle.
Okay. Where were we?
We're gonna start with yours, the shame thing, and then I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Mention them.
So this lovely little quote is from page 37, and it's on the chapter of religion.
Society's guilty non-pleasure.
Seriously. I'm not very religious. I've stated that, I believe, before on this.
Me too.
Lovely show that we have.
For our third episode.
While religion may be the opiate of the masses, shame is the opiate of sex. Honestly, how kinky can we get when you believe that with every pelvic thrust, you become less valuable, not only as a mate, but as a person.
Mm.
It's funny. Even though women are hypersexualized from a young age, people really seem to hate it when we have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's, I mean, think about it. Like, all throughout time,
Yeah.
your whole virtue was based on your virginity, which I can't say the word virginity very well.
Virginity.
Virginity. And it's, you lose value
Yeah.
when you lose it. Like, what kind of fucking bullshit is that?
That's the patriarchy. I mean, it is.
It is.
So
I was trying to think of something kind of clever and witty in my mind, and I lost track of it. That's what happened there. I had like a thought, and then it went.
And that's why there's two of us.
Okay.
So when one of us has a brain fart, the other one actually thinks of something to say.
I lost what I wanted to fucking say. Like, I completely.
Yeah. Well.
It has come away from my being. What was it? On virginity. I cannot say that word at all.
Because we're clearly not.
When I'm sober or when I'm tipsy. Virginity. It's like it's like cinnamon. Well, I can say cinnamon fine, but
cinnamon.
Synonym.
Anemone. Okay, we are getting way off topic.
We are getting off topic.
Okay.
But yeah. And like, I don't know, and it's just it's in cultures throughout the world based on religions of like fucking child brides because all the older women are tarnished because they've had sex and shit like that, and like cultures where female mutilation is a thing.
Oh, genital mutilation is not okay, guys. Mm-mm.
No, it's not.
Oh God.
What if, I mean, like, okay, like, circumcision is a thing, but they don't chop the whole fucking dick off. It's just a fucking foreskin.
Mm-hmm.
Chopping a fucking clitoris off. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I mean, then they... But,
I mean, I'm saying that as someone who didn't grow up in the culture and everything, like, but... It's just, like, that's the main pleasure. Not that most men can find it, but, still.
So, on that thought, though, so, what are they talking about? Oh, so aside from the fact that yes, in societies going back to like Egypt and Greece and all those places, yes, there are ports where religion
Port. Where are we sailing from?
Yeah, parts where religion says that like bad for shame, but the Jews, they mention the Jews in here,
and this is why I always wanted to be a Jew.
It traces back to the enslavement of the Jews in Egypt, where they were not free to experience pleasure at their own wills. God went out of his way to part the sea and deliver the Jews to freedom, so the Jews are commanded to eat, drink, and have sex, because not doing so would make God's work for naught. In other words, enjoying your life is important, because the act of enjoyment is the acknowledgement that you lead a life in which you have the privilege to do so.
Is this from this book? Or is
yes.
that?
Oh, okay. This is from, well, I don't know. It's on page, it's right after your opiate sex part, opiate the masses. It's the next page. It says Egypt.
Oh, yes, I see it now. Because I highlighted something underneath it.
Yeah, you have it too. The same part. And then,
oh, yes,
yeah.
And then you quoted more of a quote that I had put. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go into like the different. Didn't they go into like different like religious? They talk about examples of societies that actually were like the Jews in the sense that they believed you should be celebrating your like masturbation. Oh, that was earlier. I think.
Yeah, I think that was earlier.
Well, anyway, masturbation is a form of sex. It's oral or not oral. It's solo sex. So it's still like you're still enjoying yourself. It's still a pleasure. So why do you feel shame with sex with a P and a V, or V on a V, or a P and a P? No.
Or a V and multiple P's.
Or lots of P's and lots of B's.
Bees?
Butts?
Oh, we have butts.
Either way, why would you feel shame in that when masturbation is totally normal? You know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're enjoying yourself for pleasure, and when you masturbate, it's the same thing as when you have sex. It's just with another person who has consented.
That's the big word, consent.
As long as there is consent, I just don't understand shame. I don't get shame with sex. But I think now I don't get it because I've gone over it and I never really felt shamed about it. I just felt kind of weird. I guess if that makes sense. No.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever felt shame for having sex.
Well, I felt like I was exposed to sexuality way too young before I read this.
Otherwise, like, the only shame I felt is, ew, why did I ever have sex with that person? But I don't know.
So you slut shamed yourself.
I don't know. But I think that was just like a, hindsight when you see an ex and you're like, oh, what the fuck did I think in that person? Oh, God. Kind of thing.
Yeah. I've had that feeling a lot.
The logical reasons for denying oneself sex or pleasure of any kind seem to be because we don't think we deserve it.
I think I had that one too.
And possibly because we don't think we can handle it.
Yeah. That's very true.
I'm not saying I'm denying myself sex with other people right now because I don't think I can handle it or because I don't think I deserve it. I think the choices that have come before me are not worthy of it. Okay.
I still can't get over Bathroom Guy. Can you tell them about Bathroom Guy, please? Because it's just...
Oh my God.
He's never gonna see this.
I mean, I hope not. But maybe.
Even if he fucking does.
I don't know. I guess. Yeah, because I haven't really met him. There was a guy that I met on Bumble. Met being the loose term, because, like, I've only chatted with him. But he kept taking pictures in bathrooms. He'd be like, oh, do you like this one? And I'm like, the fuck? Why do you keep sending me pictures of you in different bathrooms? I found out he's a janitor. Fine, there's no shame in that. You do what you do to make your money. You know? But, like...
What do you think of janitor bathroom? Maybe he's got, like, a fetish.
But also, why do you keep needing to send me selfies of you in bathrooms?
And then
like, every time we fucking talk.
Did you ask? You asked him that, too, didn't you?
Yeah. I was like, why do you keep sending me pictures? I have it. Let's go and look. Bumble. Where the fuck is my Bumble app? So, Bathroom Man. That's what we're gonna call him. Yeah, no, he was just really weird, and he'd be like, oh, this is me right now, in a bathroom. And then he would send me, like, another photo through, like, honestly, kind of boring conversation, of, this is me a couple weeks ago with no hat in a bathroom. Like, just weird stuff.
I think he has a fetish.
And then, I mean, like, we talked about, like, nerdy things, which, like, I'm okay with talking about. It's better than, like, you leading with, wow, you have really big tits, let's have sex, kind of bullshit, that I also get. But it was just, like, he would show me pictures of celebrities that he's met at, like, different Comic-Cons, and then he would also send me photos of autographs that he's gotten from the Comic-Cons, which, like, a lot of people go to these Comic-Cons. They all get the same autograph when they do these meet and greets.
Reminds me of that Shania Twain song.
Like, autographs, autographs are not the hot commodity that they used to be.
Yeah.
Like, I have autograph stuff from people. Playbills, Christmas cards. I don't fucking show people. No, like, look, I got this. Like, no. I keep it, but I don't.
Yeah. I don't really get impressed by autographs.
Yeah, no, I don't get impressed either.
I do actually carry a piece of Chris Hemsworth costume cloak from Thor in my purse at all times because I'm hoping it's the part of the cape that touched his crotchal region.
I mean, that's cool because it's part of a costume. Not many people have that.
Yeah, it's literally in my wallet right now. I don't take it out of my wallet. It makes my wallet really, like, hard to...
What makes me really sad is that this guy was actually really cute, but
But, like, if he's weird and you don't connect,
If he's weird, and I
is
find
it worth
this.
it? Looks are not everything,
I
ladies and
know.
gentlemen. Looks are not everything.
He does have a cute face, though. Anyway, I kind of ghosted him. And I know we talked about ghosting before, but also, I didn't sleep with him, or
You didn't have a relationship.
I didn't have a relationship with him. I had,
Not even a friendship, so it's like
like, a conversation. A lackluster conversation.
I mean, I still try not to ghost people. So,
But
like,
I feel like if I haven't really made a commitment to you, there's things that you can ghost people on, like this.
well, I don't personally do it.
We
but
talked for
I
like
understand.
2 to 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there was no
Yeah.
there was no like emotional connection. Like as far as like you don't talk to people for like 2 to 3 days and be like, "Oh my god, I'm in love with them." You know, kind of thing. Like it's weird. Unless we went on a couple dates, then ghosting on them is wrong. Give them a reason, you know.
Yeah.
Don't just fucking disappear out of their lives.
I mean, I've been ghosted. I've never ghosted anybody. Like, I can honestly say that.
I just feel
Even
like
guys that I met on Tinder.
like it's
I
one of
just
those
feel
things
like,
where I didn't move beyond the app.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's not.
Yeah.
We didn't meet face to face. We didn't, you know, so like we never had a date even.
Uh-huh.
I just kind of let it fizzle. You can't see what I did. Cause it's out of,
I mean, I'm not
frame.
gonna judge you for ghosting. I never want it done to me. That's why I just don't do it to anybody.
It's one of those things where.
But most of the time, I'm getting ghosted, so I don't have to ghost anybody.
But is it like, are they ghosting like after they've met you and
Yeah.
like you've been out? Okay, well that's different than like just like
Well,
disappearing.
and on here, like just talking.
But
if
yeah,
I've talked
but
to them
like,
for, like,
but
a
if you're
week,
just talking, like
yeah, but even if I'm talking to someone for like a week, it's still weird when they disappear out of nowhere for no reason. That's not weird to you? Like it's weird.
I
to
feel
me.
like I've been doing online dating enough that I don't find it
The
weird at
thing
this
is,
point.
I hate online dating.
I hate it too, but unfortunately, it's the only way to meet people. You know, like I fucking went to try to go out on a date.
God, that guy was a
Couple
dick.
Saturday nights ago.
The fact that he even got that far to like make a date with you and
then he didn't show up.
Yeah, that's fucking.
And then
stupid.
claimed like 3 hours after we were supposed to meet, "Oh, I overslept." What are you oversleeping on, sir? At this point, you weren't working.
He probably masturbated and then fell asleep and
I
was
don't
like,
really
"Oh,
care.
I want to go out."
I really don't care.
No, I know. But it's not an excuse. I'm just saying
Because
that's
he
what
had just moved here. He was talking about how he didn't know anyone in the area, didn't know where to go, and like he wasn't starting his job for like another couple weeks. So like the fact that you fucking fall asleep in the middle of the fucking goddamn day when you actually have some place to be, to potentially meet a new friend and to go out in the town that you just fucking moved to,
Yeah.
is bullshit to me.
Yeah.
Which is why after he texted that, like I didn't say anything. So I was like, fuck you.
Yeah,
like
it's your call, man.
Because I fucking rushed home from work.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Fucking showered, did my hair and my makeup. I looked looking hot that night.
Yeah, you were. You came to my house after and you looked bomb.
And wasted all that product, all that time getting ready to be stood up. And it wasn't fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't like stay at the place for a while hoping that he would show up. I literally, because I texted him saying like, "Oh, like I'm running late, like I'm stuck in traffic," which I was. And when I got there, I texted him like, "Hey, like, you know," texted him parking, but he didn't really respond. So I was like, "Oh, whatever." So I looked around. I went into the place, walked around, went to pee because I had a long drive, of being stuck in traffic, and he still didn't respond. Did like another walk around, see if he was there, and he wasn't. So I left. I went someplace else to grab a drink by myself out of anger.
Oh, you went someplace else. I thought you drank there.
Oh, no. That place was too crowded. They didn't have room for me at the bar.
So what she didn't know, because she texted me when she got stood up, and our friend said he'd go meet her for a drink, and they would come to my place after.
I didn't know this.
And I didn't tell her because I thought it'd be like a really funny surprise that he just showed up there. So you were like, I'm drinking this drink. I was like, oh, just go meet her at the place. And he's like, yeah, I'm going there now. He's like, she's not here. And then Kim walked in my door. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Uh,
But he sucked. That guy sucked. You deserve better anyway. So, where were we on this thing?
Whatever.
What were we talking
Anyway, we were talking about something, and then I went to a rant, and then we had to stop the video
about? I think
because we got interrupted for Uber Eats, which is very important. And so where
I think
were we? We were on
still
religion.
on religion. We can go to the next section. I don't have anything else on shame. I mean, it's pretty clear in this book that.
I just wanted the next thing I just wanted to say was the depression thingy.
Oh yeah. Oh, the other quote. Let us remind you that if we stop fucking, we humans die out. So, shame isn't gonna help that.
No, it's not. Never. But you're also gonna die out because some of us just don't want kids. Already the population is going down because, like, I mean,
I don't think enough to really say we're gonna die out.
Not enough, but I mean,
Earth's destruction.
But if you think about it, like, say, 3 generations ago, they were having like 12 kids per marriage, and then the next generation they were having like 5, and then it went down to like 3, and now it's like 2, like for like the average kids per family kind of thing.
Still have them.
As long as people still have them, I guess. I mean, I personally would like less children in the world, or better behaved children, I should say, in the world.
Which goes back to education. How
would be better. And also disciplining your fucking children. But
anyway, aside from that.
But that's not in this book, so it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Anyway.
I think we're gonna die before.
Brody cites a study of young American women. Brody, meaning Stuart Brody, who wrote the Relative Health Benefits of Activities in the Journal of Sexual Medicine. He cites a study of young American women in which it was found that the longer a female went without vaginal intercourse, the worse she scored on the Beck Depression Inventory, one of the most widely used tests for measuring depression.
That's like my first go-to when I'm depressed. I want sex.
Now I know I haven't had sex in like 2 months to date, and I've been pretty fucking cranky recently.
Last week.
It's okay. It's not your fault. It's not really my fault either. I don't really leave the house. But then again, my options are clearly fucking slim. Between bathroom boy
and those guys in the bra crawl were kind of obnoxious.
Oh God. Yeah.
Men, stop being obnoxious, please.
Like stupid when you drink.
That goes into the next part.
I mean, I guess like we're funny when we drink. We're not like obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
We're not like like they were in the fucking bar. That was fucking annoying.
That could have been at Coda though.
Oh, that one time after the wedding. No, you weren't like that. You just...
I'm a lovey drunk.
You put a lot of things in your mouth that I said, don't put that in your mouth.
Meaning love everybody when I'm drinking.
Meaning more... She kept pounding drinks when she was already blackout drunk.
Like that 16-ounce mimosa that we left the bar last week.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Because I saw it earlier and I thought about it. I don't even know if
she's okay.
I thought about it and I said... Kim, that's a good way to get roofied. And you have to drive home. And you don't want to be driving home while you're roofied. So you're going to ignore that mimosa that's sitting there.
Never do that, children.
Don't do what she did. I've done that. But I've done it before in other
drinker,
places.
And I can tell when her lips have touched a glass.
And then I just literally fucking left her in Stanford. I dropped her off.
With my friend.
Well, he wasn't there yet. I left you at Eagles Club for like, I'm assuming a bit. I don't know when he showed up because I had already left. I was like, I need to pee and I'm gonna bounce.
I trust everyone there, so it's fine.
Yeah, I figured you would be okay, but I was still like, just leaving this drunk girl in Stanford. Not your best call, Kim, but you know,
I was proud of myself.
She was fine. She had things to do. Sorry, I'm trying to find.
Was it the
our next thing. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then sexuality and shame are like fingerprints. Everyone's are different, and there's no one size fits all solution.
Mm-hmm.
Every case and situation is unique.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have to say about that. Was there anything else?
Slut shaming was my next part.
Slut shaming. Yes.
And to quote a wonderful movie that we both love and value, Tina Fey, you all have got to stop calling each other sluts and whores. It just makes it okay for guys to call you sluts and whores.
Well, I mean, I use it as a term
of endearment. Yes. But in this, they were not calling it.
But no, in this they weren't. No, and I mean, there was the other day I wanted to say this fucking whore from work.
Was she more of a cunt or a whore?
She's really just a bitch.
Okay. So a garbage person.
She's kind of a garbage person.
Phrase
because I had told her what weeks I wanted off for vacation, so I could go see my besties. And then she fucking took those weeks. And then she asked me, she goes, were those the weeks you wanted?
She did?
Yeah. I was like, I
flip a shit.
I almost did, but I was like, I'm at work. It's one of those things where because you're at work, you can't fucking say how you fucking feel kind of thing. Because, like, it's your job.
In society.
And I was just like, don't fucking worry about it. Because honestly, like, I'm just so annoyed. Like, I told you what my plan was, and then you decided because I put that idea in your head of those 2 fucking weeks that you were gonna fucking take them.
So you can't?
And had no, because it goes by seniority.
Multiple people can't take the same week?
Not if, it's reserved as 4 or 5 people from Trumbull, and then 1 person from Easton, because we have such a big office, we can't have, we can only have a certain amount out at a time. And because it's a big office, we have a lot of people.
Okay. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, she's just stupid, and she took those fucking weeks off to.
Was that the time you said it was a long day? You texted me, and there was other stuff that was going on. You said it was like a really long day or something.
Probably
last week.
Yeah. Friday. Yeah, it was Friday.
Well, aside from that bitch, we're not calling her a slut or a whore because we don't know her sexual orientation or preferences.
Well, I mean, I do know her sexual orientation. I will not say it on here.
Okay, but that doesn't define how she's a garbage person. She's a garbage person for being a dick to you.
Yeah, she is.
So, every stab of the knife...
She's also just a nasty person in general.
...into another woman becomes a step up for a man on the ladder of patriarchy.
Yes, that...
So blame the patriarchy for not allowing you guys to take vacation at the same time.
Oh, but I wanted to backtrack because there's other stuff.
Okay.
We should feel ashamed of how many times we've thrown a fellow female under the bus for the amount of cleavage she's exposed at the office holiday party, for blowing that guy without having gone to dinner with him first, or for openly admitting that she doesn't agree with the possibly antiquated practice of monogamy. What's inexcusable is women terrorizing one another in a world that's already a war zone for our kind. We are the stronger sex, but our Achilles heel is, and continues to be men. We must be better to one another, over-the-top nice to one another, kind when it seems unnecessary, and borderline lesbianic. Which I sounded like I said let's be honest, but no.
What did you say?
Lesbianic.
Oh, yeah.
Not let's be honest, but let's be honest.
So, well, my biggest problem with that in the past has been a jealousy thing. And it's like, you automatically, when a woman goes after your man, you always blame the woman. Okay, so you always blame the woman, right? And in the case of my most recent split up, I blamed the woman for the longest time before I blamed the man. And that was the first problem. That's a huge problem. Like, I mean, she knew what she was getting into in a marriage. I still think she's a garbage person.
Oh, well, yeah. If you already know what you're getting
his
into.
Fault for being unfaithful.
Yes.
She's not in a relationship.
Like, I've never understood why
That was my own insecurity, though.
someone is gonna get mad at the girl for going after her guy in a situation where she didn't know that he was in a relationship.
Oh yeah, that I can totally understand.
That
I
I can,
don't
you know what I
understand how
mean?
women
Like,
are
I don't know
mad at
why
other
you would
women.
attack the girl if she didn't fucking know that
Yeah.
the guy
Yeah.
that she was hooking up with was already in a relationship.
Yeah.
How is that her problem? I mean,
Right.
clearly he's a liar anyway, and he's unfaithful because he's already fucking cheating. But how is she supposed to fucking know that?
Right, she doesn't know. So that's a case I would never even get mad at her. But the problem is I was mostly mad at the woman in this situation who had
Who knew that
stole
you
my
were-
husband. But no, he's a man of free will.
Exactly.
He made those choices. And it was my own insecurity for the longest time that, like, I just didn't, I couldn't fathom, him being fully to blame, but he is. He's completely to blame, 110%. She's to blame for her own part in it because she knew when she was getting with a married man that he was married and there'd be complications, you know what I mean? Like, she made her own bed. Now she lies in it. But the point is,
I never
he's
understood
the one.
that phrasing because it's like you. Never mind. It's just
It's
a side thing. Anyway.
I understand what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
It's backwards, right?
I use it. I don't understand it. Just like I use the English language, and I really don't understand it. Anyway, no. My point is that, like, I finally, like, I forgive her at this point, and it took me a long time to do that. Like, I'm over that part of it, and I'm working on forgiving him because the forgiveness is about yourself, people. It's about you. It's beneficial to you more than them. But it's just funny how, like, women always blame the woman. They always blame the woman instead of the man, or vice versa. They always blame the partner who's not the one in a committed relationship. If it's two guys, like, they'll blame the one that the guy got. You know what I mean? Like, it's always like. But for women, for me, men have been a huge. I mean, they're the actual problem.
They are the fucking problem.
For as a heterosexual woman myself, I'm saying, like, for other women, maybe not the same. But that's my point. So, I learned a lesson in that because I was one of those women, and I am no longer one of those women. It is the man.
And now, would you like to finish?
Oh no, let's read these.
Okay. And now for the. Say it together.
The
10 Sisterhood Commandments. Strong suggestions. Thou shalt not use the weaknesses of other women as a step stool to elevate ourselves. There is room enough for all of us to succeed.
Thou shalt not make a fellow woman feel bad for being her best self. The world would be a lot better if we were all our best selves.
Thou shalt remember the negative things we say about women are more of a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. Calling someone else ugly only shows how ugly we really are.
Thou shalt not fuck a person, I love saying that word, who is in a monogamous relationship with a fellow woman, whether or not the woman is someone you know. Extend others the same courtesy you would hope they would extend to you.
Why are we doing this in British?
Thou,
Bad British accents.
It's
I
fine.
don't know.
Monty Python.
Thou shalt stop commenting
I thought you meant saying it. I thought it was
commenting on other women's bodies positively or negatively. You're probably not a doctor.
I'm continuing the accent. Thou shalt compliment little girls for more than being pretty or having a beautiful dress. And thou shalt compliment adult women for more than having great legs or cute shoes. There's nothing wrong with caring about beauty and fashion, but being a woman is so much more than appearance. This looks like Mary Poppins. Whatever.
Thou shalt be honest in the interest of your fellow woman's protection, not for your personal satisfaction. Harsh truths can be crucial to someone's safety, but a lot of the time, you're probably just being a bitch.
Thou shalt stop saying "Yas, queen." We stole that from Yas. I won't stop. Sorry, I can't promise. Sorry, guys. We stole that from gay men anyway.
Thou shalt wear underwear when trying on bathing suits. We know there's that hygiene sticker, but if your pussy touches the sticker and then my pussy touches the sticker, what's the fucking point of the sticker?
Thou shalt be cognizant I love that word too. Of the amount of time we spend talking about boy problems. We have so much to achieve and so much time to make up for.
Those are the 10 commandments
My
of
queen
sisterhood.
clap. Was it the way the queen?
I'm gonna do the Nancy Pelosi clap.
Boy.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what she does. Oh my god, Kate Middleton when she goes. I am not until fuck's given on page 69. Look at that, 69.
Oh, I still have some things.
I'll never grow up.
Just about
I'll always giggle at 69.
confident women. This goes as strong shaming is the new slut shaming. Everyone likes to shit on cockiness, and it's no wonder why. Everyone is so fucking insecure. People are constantly turned off by my cockiness, and those people are, you guessed it, insecure. And it's almost a cliche at this point, but people really do have a deep dislike of confident women.
They do.
And
Intimidating.
yeah, I know I'm intimidating because I've never gotten approached by a male. Actually, no, I have been approached by men at a bar, but it was only when I was sitting there by myself, never if I was
with a friend. Or
other people.
Well, guys, I mean, to be fair...
And he just happened to be sitting next to me. It wasn't like he fucking came waltzing.
But if I was alone, too, like,
across.
I wouldn't approach a guy in a group of guys. That's terrifying to me. I would never do that.
Well, not maybe when they're sitting, but if you see them, like, kind of, like, go off to, like, order a drink or something, and you can...
Oh, yeah, you can, like, work
do you get
your
what I
way
mean?
over.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Because I thought about approaching that guy that I thought that was hot.
I would do that. I would be comfortable.
At the bar crawl, but then he started acting obnoxious, and I was like...
Yeah. He also wasn't that good looking. I think we were drinking a little too much.
No, I liked his droopy eyes and his vampire teeth.
Oh, that guy.
That guy.
Teeth. Okay.
Vampire teeth, yeah.
He was okay. He was my type, but... To each her own. Or his own. Or
well, it's kind of good why we don't go for the same kind of guys. Looks-wise.
This is very true.
Because then we would be competition for one another.
This is very true. And competition is looked down upon in the female world.
Many men are put off by women who bust their balls, speak their minds, and generally act like equals. High percentage of men don't want to be bothered. Why make life more difficult than it already is? And that is the fucking truth. I can't tell you how many times I've called, a guy out in his bullshit. And
they don't want to make the work.
They act all fucking surprised, and then, I don't fucking hear from them again. Sorry, but, I'm not gonna let you fucking coast through.
That's also the technology that's a generational thing, too, because you can pick and choose now. You can pick and choose where you put your attention. So it's like, you don't have to actually talk to somebody or make the effort anymore to go bring them flowers or go stand outside someone's door like John Cusack and say anything and be like...
Yeah, but shit like that doesn't actually ever really happen.
Oh, maybe to you it doesn't.
Oh, damn! Oh, damn!
It's happened to me. It's happened to me in past relationships before, like, cell phones were a really big deal. Like, in high school even, they weren't that... It was texting, but there wasn't, like, dating apps. There wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, OkCupid came out when we were in college. Like...
When you were in college. I didn't go to college.
Well, we as a generation. Our age group, when people our age went to college, that's when OkCupid was, like, a thing. But that was, like, a hookup thing. And in college it made sense, but, like, for my past relationships, like, I had guys who, like, did some really nice things for me.
But there's also the whole thing of how...
Like, made the effort,
There were more submissive women who wanted to be formed into this mold...
Of what they wanted.
Of what men wanted. Mm-hmm. And they weren't acting... Themselves.
That's fair.
And there weren't as many strong and confident women as there are now.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I think by the time I hit end of high school, I was a lot more confident. Like, I was like, really confident in the sense that, like, I wasn't, like, afraid of my body or afraid to wear a bikini.
But I also think there was also more, there's still the same amount of mediocre men. Okay. But...
I'm not gonna argue that.
But where was I going with this? And there were more women willing to just accept that mediocre behavior in the past than there is,
Right. I see what you're saying. I know
You
exactly
know,
where you're going with that. Yes.
like now.
No, it's true. We're all finding our passion, and we're eating avocado toast, just like good millennials do. But like, it's true. We were raised in a different situation. Like our parents, or like our schools and our parents
For a second. Sorry.
shaped, things differently. Like for instance, my whole family was very different from the family of somebody else, but in a sense, a lot of my friends and their friends who had money, they were supported by their parents. Like they were given apartments to work at some random beach town for a summer. They were like they paid for everything for them. Like they got to explore what they wanted to do and their passions, and they get, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a lot of people back then, it was like you find a trade, you get a good, decent, sturdy job that has benefits, and you have a family, you get married. You get married first, because God forbid. You get married first.
Back in those
then
days.
you have a family, and then you have to keep that job. And like you might not even like that job, but it pays the bills, and that's just what it was. Now it's like you have so many options. It's exhausting, actually.
And men still think that their mediocre selves are the shit when they're really fucking boring and lackluster.
Yeah, less women are gonna settle.
Yeah.
Less and less. So keep that in mind, fellas.
Who
The work doesn't stop once you get the girl in bed.
probably won't watch all the way up to this point in the video.
You never know. Guys listen to Corinne and Krystyna.
That's true. They do.
They do.
Once the act of being unapologetically ourselves is seen as less of a hike, we'll be able to relax a little. There are still too many women on the planet who value being with a man more than they value being their own person. This isn't only dangerous for the individual woman, it's a danger to all women in society where women already hold less value than men. First step in not getting mind fucked is recognizing your value and demanding that other people who want to be a part of your life recognize it as well.
Yep. That's so true.
I don't know, that really resonated.
Yeah.
That part of the book just really resonated with me.
I totally agree with that. I get that. I feel the same way. That's what I say about quality versus quantity of friends and people in your life, that you don't have to hold yourself to certain standards that people expect of you, but you also don't have to put up with bullshit that you don't agree with. Doesn't mean they're necessarily garbage people. It just means you're not compatible to be friends or fuck buddies or whatever the fuck.
Anything.
So.
Do you want to take a break so we can get our sandwiches?
Sandwiches from Little Pub.
Little Pub, sponsor us.
We're not going to say location, though.
Uber Eats. I think there's like 3 restaurants. I mentioned fucking towns.
I didn't even know there was one up here. So there's definitely
There's
like 5.
There's Fairfield.
There are people that can be crazy stalkers.
Stalk me.
Okay. I'm not going to tell anyone where I live, but you can go ahead and do what you got to do.
I've watched you. Okay? I'll fucking defend myself. You have
Anyway, sandwiches.
You have pepper spray. It's fine.
Now I do. Thanks to you. Bye for... Never mind, it's not really bye.
It's not really bad.